Why spend a fortune at the movies when you can get that cinematic experience with a video game at home?
Sure you wouldn't rather take a seat?
We'll be fine.
Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we'll be counting down our picks for the top 10 most cinematic video games.
Nice gun.
Just to clarify what we're looking for when we say cinematic games, we're mostly looking at games that have stories worthy of Hollywood films, in combination with a strong production value, artistic design, and well-directed action set pieces. As you might think, gameplay is taking a back seat on this one. Also, we decided to allow entire franchises to cover one entry, if we couldn't limit it to just one cinematic experience.
It's gonna be a bumpy ride!
Number 10, Final Fantasy series. Many gamers recognize this series as the birth of cinematic games, starting as early as Final Fantasy VI on the SNES. Though, when Final Fantasy jumped to the PlayStation with number 7, the scope of video game storytelling changed forever. Final Fantasy has given us some of the most sweeping, fantastical tales in video game history. And just to name a few iconic scenes, Sephiroth and Aeris in number 7, the ballroom scene in number 8, and the sending in number 10. With beautiful soundtracks by Nobuo Uematsu, amazing visual works, and engaging stories, Final Fantasy always delivers in the visual department.
Oh, no!
Give me that!
What?
Did we get him?
Number 9, Mass Effect series. BioWare's first foray into space operas was with Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, an epic licensed adventure that implemented groundbreaking branching narratives. Nobody imagined that BioWare could weave an original sci-fi tale on par with Star Wars mythology, but they created an equally gripping universe with Mass Effect.
We're at war. No one wants to admit it, but humanity is under attack.
Every character felt important and developed, and every decision had its consequences.
I left a friend to die that day, and I didn't do it casually.
With nuanced narrative trees, amazing visuals, atmosphere, and a fantastic soundtrack, the Mass Effect series truly felt like AAA blockbuster sci-fi movies, and you were the star.
You might be the reason I'm still alive, but that doesn't mean I trust you.
You need to put your personal feelings aside. Humanity is up against the greatest threat of our brief existence.
Number 8, God of War 3.
There is no escape.
The first two God of War games were awesome hack and slashers, but lacked a bit of storytelling depth, often feeling like style over substance. God of War 3 changed that dynamic.
This time, retribution finally comes to me, Spartan.
The boss fights in particular were totally insane, and made you feel like you were a crazy badass facing insurmountable odds, or gods.
The true warrior does not hide, Poseidon!
God of War 3 combined sweeping, movie-like camera work, an absurd sense of scale, and punishing action-packed cutscenes to create a cinematic experience that most action movie directors would envy. Number 7, Metal Gear Solid series.
Is that how they do it in the KGB?
Sometimes. Would you rather I did it American style?
The Metal Gear Solid games are some of the first to embrace a mature, complex aesthetic, employing professional actors and weaving a complex story of intrigue, conspiracy, and espionage.
Get whatever information you can from him about the terrorists. If he's alive, that is.
Cutscenes in these games are really long, with the ending alone for Metal Gear Solid 4 clocking in at over an hour. And the sheer amount of voice acting, dialogue, and storytelling in this series is almost unheard of.
That one man's desires grew huge.
Things can get a little complicated, but matched with the tense stealth sections and riveting action sequences, Hideo Kojima created one of the most compelling universes in all of gaming.
Colonel, what's a Russian gunship doing here?
I have no idea.
Number 6, Gears of War series.
Find some cover fast, or your ass gonna be swimming in some glowing gravy!
Innovators of the now standard duck and cover system during gunfights, the Gears of War series threw you into the midst of the most realistic and visceral battles to date. Yet, beneath its insanely detailed graphics, punishing gunplay, and macho charisma lies an emotional and enthralling story about desperation, survival, and brotherhood.
We came here to help you. That's what we're gonna do.
Gears pulls us into a grim sci-fi universe where humanity is fighting on its last legs, and reminds us of the very best action sci-fi movies.
Oh, shit!
We see her, Diz. Just keep down and head for the roof.
Number 5, Halo series.
possibly make any more noise? I guess so.
With a tone-setting ambient soundtrack and action-packed cutscenes, the Halo series makes you feel like you're in the middle of a large-scale intergalactic battle.
Master Chief, defend this station.
Yes, sir. I need a weapon.
Right this way.
The series is packed with memorable characters, intense firefights, and winding, sweeping narratives that bring us around the universe and back again. It all feels like a big-budget Hollywood blockbuster, and its impressive array of live-action trailers certainly fueled the desire to see this series on the big screen.
I will not allow you to leave this planet!
Number 4, The Last of Us.
That is a stupid idea.
Naughty Dog took all of the lessons learned from the also highly regarded Uncharted series and gave us one of the most profound and thought-provoking zombie narratives of all time.
Sarah. Move your hands, babe. I know, baby, I know.
Incredibly acted, with beautiful environments and some of the most realistic character design ever seen, this game is truly a masterpiece of digital storytelling. Bleak, uncompromising, and difficult, The Last of Us has incredibly rewarding gameplay. But it's the depth and complexity of Joel and Ellie's companionship for which the game will definitely be remembered.
So is that everything you hoped for?
Jury's still out. But man, can't deny that view.
Number 3, Beyond Two Souls.
Guys, why doesn't Jodie give us a demonstration of her super mega powers?
Now we're getting into what I like to call the absurdly cinematic games, as with Beyond Two Souls, the balance between cinema and video games was very lopsided. Tracing the coming of age of a young woman with supernatural powers, played by Ellen Page, and co-starring Willem Dafoe, this game wasn't afraid to rely almost exclusively on an intricate, detailed story.
He hates me. The whole time he was imagining my head on a stick. He found you charming.
I should be flattered.
Switching between the protagonist and her ghost-like partner, Aiden, is interesting, but this game's real strength is the ability to suck you into an interactive drama.
I've been living with an entity that I knew nothing about since the day I was born.
Number 2, L.A. Noire.
Hi, Elsa. Here's someone I'd like you to meet. Cole Phelps.
With L.A. Noire, Rockstar created a tense, slow-moving crime thriller with pacing that was almost completely opposite to their zany and frenetic Grand Theft Auto series.
Alas, poor Yorick, I knew him, Horatio.
L.A. Noire implemented motion scan, one of the most detailed facial rendering graphical technologies seen to this day, and we were left with characters that felt like real fleshed-out human beings.
There's nothing to tell. I've done nothing wrong.
Combination of these startlingly realistic characters with a sweeping, hard-boiled crime thriller narrative helped create a very convincing version of the 1940s.
I thought she could use some lipstick.
Rusty, stop! Don't hit him.
Before we unveil our top pick, here are a few honorable mentions.
I repeat.
Shh, baby. Just another nightmare. Everything's fine.
We're gonna move quick, and we're gonna keep cool.
My job, my score, get your own!
Across the ocean. To start a new life. In America.
Number 1, Heavy Rain.
Attack! Whoa!
Heavy Rain showed that video games could take the best aspects of film, the plot, the acting, and the ability to weave and manipulate narrative arcs into an intriguing, branching story.
What do you want to know?
Quantic Dream is actually hesitant to call Heavy Rain a video game. Rather, they call their masterpiece an interactive drama. We prefer to call it as cinematic as a game can get, creating a realistic, believable experience, one that throws you right in the middle of the action and has you on the edge of your seat every step of the way.
You have 5 minutes to cut off the last section of one of your fingers in front of the camera.
There's quite a lot of cinematic games out there, so it's likely that some of your favorites didn't make the list.
He is correct. It was a delicacy in our cycle.
So let us know what games made you feel like you were watching a movie, and for more gripping top 10s published daily, be sure to subscribe to WatchMojo.com.
Can't even eat a snake during a mission, huh?
I wouldn't mind eating you.